Well, welcome aboard, everybody. We have an amazing lineup today, what we do every day. And I think it's pretty amazing and yummy. It's going to be full of love. I want to ask you guys a couple questions. And this is what we're going to be talking about today. Well, first and foremost, it's going to be all about love and frequencies and all of that. So ask yourself, why am I not feeling fulfilled in my life? How can I alleviate any physical pain? How can I manifest health, wealth, abundance in my life? How do I align to conscious love and conscious relationships? How can I bypass my mind and live in my heart? We are going to answer those questions, and I'm sure a whole lot more. We got Mikko and Biji coming online. We had they're over in Costa Rica, so we were having a little bit of technical difficulties, but before we started. But we will bring them on. Hopefully we can get them back on video, because that's always fun for the YouTube world and for everybody, and for me and my guests, because it's fun to engage and have like people interaction, I guess is what I was trying to say. But to the radio world, good morning, Pacific Northwest. How are all of you? Loving on all of you. To the podcast world that will be seeing, hearing, sensing, feeling, loving on you after this is all live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at in the world. I know we've got the UK, we've got Canada, we got Belgium, we've got Mexico. I mean, we've got people all over the US too. I've heard from so many of you. So thank you so much for joining in. Remind all of you, this is all about you. It's about me. We are one, we are love. It's this whole beautiful reciprocal love thing. I say thing because I just don't have a good adjective to describe. It'll work, Benny, right? It
was pretty good.
It worked pretty good. But again, this is all about a new perspective, new thoughts, new ideas. It's a new you. And with anything, whether it's my readings, whether it's guests, take what resonates and leave the rest. It is what it is. Okay. I see that we have them on. So are we going to just do audio?
Well, so for right now, they haven't all the way connected yet. I'm asking them to unmute. We'll start there. I think they're still kind of working on a couple.
Okay. Well, I'll keep doing my intro and we'll go from there.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Remind everybody, of course, if you want to do some energy facilitations, if you want to do some coaching, if you want to do any readings with me, my unique ability and specialty, because that's what I want, is I bridge 3D and 5D. So what does that mean? 3D is your real life, 3D practicality. We have bills, we have triggers, we have fears, all of that stuff. And I have got really great mindset hacks. I mean, I'm a growth mindset coach, and I help with the 3D realm. But I also, because of my intuitive, all my clairs being a natural born psychic and an evidential mediumship, I can tap into the 5D energies. And I also have my professional work where I do all the energy work as well. So if you would like to join all of us, or you can get my coaching or practice, you can do that and go to SueLundquist.com and send me a note. You can also get a copy of this radio show and all my goodies and my guests at SueLundquist.com/newsletter. You can find all of us on social media. And we got the love that's going on. Yeah, I'm so glad it worked. I wanted a video. I was like,
powerful. You're powerful, Sue.
Oh, thank you, love. You see, I got my love all around me.
I see it.
Yes.
Love and trust. Nice.
Yes. Always choose love and trust. The unknown is all around us, right? And that's okay. Have the faith. It's all good. And then love. Find you, love. And I've done this, sign language for I love you since my kids were babies. And I've got remind myself to stay above the line. It's my cursive handwriting that says I love you.
Mm.
Yeah. Welcome. Okay, what we were doing is making sure I was going to pronounce the names correctly, right, Benny? And you guys may not know this, but Benny and I have been doing this for over 10 years. And he's like, Sue, make sure that you practice the names. I'm like, I will. So is it Biji? Or is that Biji? Okay. And Mikko and Biji.
Yes.
Yay. All right. Well, I've already asked a bunch of questions to the audience to prime them and get them ready. For example, why am I not feeling fulfilled in my life? How can I bypass my mind and live in my heart? Yes. Yes. Big one.
That's a great question.
That's a great question.
Mhm.
So what I normally do is I do the normal professional bio, but you know what? In an effort to save time, and because I want them to see, sense, and feel this energy, because we're live on YouTube, I want to just jump in. Are you guys good with that? Just jump into
Yeah,
this
absolutely.
love and just go. All right. Well, for live radio people, we've got Mikko and we've got Biji. So for live radio, make sure you guys say this is Mikko speaking or this is Biji. We have also got YouTube for those of you that are driving. And if you want to see us on YouTube, all you have to do is go to YouTube and type in 1150 and you can see us all loving and spreading love that way as well. If you're driving, please don't do that. Just keep listening on terrestrial radio and we'll love on you through there as well. It's
Keep loving though too.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Please, my loves, go. And that was Biji. So go ahead. Biji, do you want to go ahead and start, love?
Okay, beautiful, beautiful divine soul beings who are joining me and Mikko right now, along with Sue. Thank you so much for creating this conscious space for us to come in and share pure love energy with you. This is the reason we are here. This is the reason we're here on the planet. So to be able to feel all of your energies, I have chills. I had chills the moment I came into the sacred container. That tells me, Sue and Benny, you guys have been doing something right and flowing beautiful conscious love energy. So that's me. And I don't know if I should include anything else except that.
Well, how about your
I'm
journey?
grateful to
How
be
did you
here.
get? Yeah. Well, how did you get here?
Yeah.
Well, maybe do the little tiny.
Yeah.
The 3D tiny one. Yeah.
I think that's back.
Wow.
Maybe we just start with how was your morning?
Yeah.
Yeah. We could start there.
You know, I'd like to share that I got here the way that every single one of you who are listening is here. Where I'm at is no different than where you're at. I started at a place where I tried the unconscious living conditioned life. I did the things that I did the things that they said was going to bring me happiness. And I was very good student. So I was able to check off every single box. And I was, 22 years old, working in network television in San Francisco. I had, and a few years later I got married, and then I had my children, and we had our investment property. And I mean, on paper, it was all there. And then of course, my divine soul path kicked in. And when that kicked in, there was nothing I could do about it. The rug was pulled right from underneath me and my path began. And internally, I knew. And that's the most wonderful thing about being here and all of you being here with me is you already know. Do not tell yourself.
No more lies and illusions.
That I don't know. Yeah, that's the mind. The part of you that goes, ooh, I know. And I know I have resistance, and I know I have blocks, and I know I need transformational healing, and I need this beautiful podcast, and I need, what you need, but you know. And that's what's happening on the planet. And that's what's happening in the month of June is now we're at the place where what we know is going to physically manifest itself faster and faster and faster. And of course, if you're not trained in your consciousness and you're not trained in your energy or your frequency, what's going to happen is chaos, because your internal chaos will create external chaos. And so taking full ownership and responsibility was the first thing I had to do the moment I decided, okay, believing in something with my mind wasn't working. So if I could go into the place where I could believe in everything and just create from my heart space, Well, that's been my journey, and that's how I got here.
I feel like I'm like, I don't know, not quite Christmas morning, but I'm just bubbly. I've got all these my cells are just all excited. Wonderful. Thank
I
you.
hear like barking in there somewhere.
Welcome to Sueville. She gets all
A certain
excited.
frequency happens when
Yeah.
you two get together.
I was like,
That's going to be the
It's
rest
like
of the show.
Tinkerbell
everybody.
thing goes
We're gonna
off.
Make
It's like-
sound effects.
No, I can go on. So I'm gonna hold on.
Oh, love it. All right, for live radio, guys, if you're missing out, you got to see us on YouTube. It's amazing and juicy and yummy. Oh, Biji, thank you. Okay, Mikko, welcome, love.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. You're
So-
sandwiched between all of this now, right?
Yes, I love it. It's a lot. There's a lot of high frequency happening here, and it's a lot to align yourself to instantly. But I love it. And so, where it's so difficult to think back, even a few weeks ago for me, because we landed here in Costa Rica, and something happened to my system. And I resonate with the earth element, when I feel things through my body, whenever I push myself with my physical practice, with my breath work, then everything else kind of works into place and everything. But being here with a lot of masculine energy in the jungle and all of the different, life forms and elements that come into play here, I feel like I'm changing on the daily. And since I've been here, I feel like I've made such a huge shift into, the rest of the journey, right? It's like we reach a manifestation that has been, for 2 years in the making, and we get here and it's a beautiful celebration, but it's like, okay, we're at almost like the bottom level of the next level. And so it's like a lot of work to do. And that's where I come in. That's what I love. I love the work. And how I got here was through the work. So younger me had all of the, addictions and depressions and, a negative inner talk to myself, thinking that everybody else had it figured out in life. But and I was the only one that was kind of swimming in my own ego and trying to find my way, albeit beautiful experiences and all necessary along the path to get me here. But Kundalini yoga was the beginning of a big awakening for me. That breath work helped me drop cigarettes from my path a long time ago, and alcohol, and just got me more connected out of that mind space and into the heart, and that's a real thing, right? You can hear all these kind of it can be woo woo and namaste, but when it comes down to it, you just can't believe the trick of the mind. And once you learn the tools to maneuver your way through that, and even for a second in breath work or in practice, feel that no mind, that connection to everything, yet detachment, right? That's the place to be. And so for me, it's all about what we say here, which is chopping wood and carrying water. So it's taking care of your spiritual hygiene. It's nothing glamorous when it gets down to it. And so this journey, being in this beautiful space, is just really kind of pumping that big energy into me. And especially with, the eclipses, the eclipse season and everything, all this big energy coming in, what it's forcing everybody to look at is powerful. So if you stay on your practice, and if you stay in that non-reactive place, then everything's going to be fine, and you'll be able to manifest. The veil's thin right now. Whatever you think about appears. So get your mind straight, get your heart straight, and point in the right direction, and everything's going to be okay. So that and humor.
And humor. Oh yeah, giggles and goofballs.
Humor it's a lost art. It's a lost art, and it is a sign for me. I feel it's a sign of intelligence when you can see the cosmic joke of things and have that timing and play and life and laugh. That's what it's all about, I feel. So.
Oh my God, the cosmic joke, so much so. And I've got this. And well, first of all, thank you very much and welcome, both of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
And there was research by the Heart Institute, and there are 40,000 neurons in your heart. So if that isn't enough, let alone all the other frequencies that we are using, obtaining, fostering. Go ahead. What was that?
Absolutely. Well, I was just going to say, they say that the heart is the first brain. So your heart knows when something's going to happen seconds, if not minutes, when you hone in that energy, that skill, that muscle, because the heart is a muscle, then you have the discernment and the premonition and the intuition that you can have right now is otherworldly. And so to give this energy so everybody can just make that decision that it can happen now is powerful. And that's what's happening. I just see the globe with lights just turning on all over, you know?
Oh yeah, I know. It's the world map that you can see it surfacely, and I can intuit all these little pieces and heart connections going. And I absolutely love it. My invitation, and that's why I have this platform. It's the invitation. It's new perspective. It's new thoughts. It's new ideas. It's new you, and bringing people like yourself to the forefront so people can hear the language that we're speaking and can feel the frequency that we're putting out. And the big word that has been coming up for me this year is a big fat permission slip, you guys. Fat permission slip. And it's not that you need permission, but guess what? Because we've been so riddled up in society and muck and the 3D worlds and the fears and the doubts and, the travel of our soul, we get caught up and we get spun out in that. And we forget, oh, that's right. I have the power. Where's that come from? Does it come from my heart? Does it come from my head? How do I learn to trust? What am I looking at? What am I feeling? Right?
Absolutely.
Conversation.
Yeah. No, you're speaking our language, and that's what this path is just waking up to your own radical aliveness, waking up to that sensitivity, right? The sensitivity that a lot of, I feel, people feel disenfranchised and misplaced because they're very sensitive. They take on other energies. They don't know what energy is theirs, what energy is there. They don't know how to set boundaries. They don't know how to speak their truth and create their own field of energy.
3D and 5D, 3D and 5D.
Yes, absolutely.
That's a really important, 3D, 5D, and then some. But yes, and it's
so in our business, we have 3D meetings and we have our 5D meetings, and we have a team of 9 people. It's 9 of us in our business, and they have all found us through their heart frequency. They have felt that this, creating this container and creating within this container was their soul mission. And so we were the first crazy dancers, and then the next set of dancers came, and now we're doing this as a business, and it's really not separating anything anymore, not compartmentalizing our dream life with our creative life, with our livelihood. And so, in this container, we absolutely put everyone's frequency at the highest priority. So we find out what things you're working through. How is your body feeling? How are you feeling emotionally? How are you feeling connected to, to source? Because ultimately, if you don't anchor into your heart, and not just your heart beating as just an individual heart beating, but beating with Mother Gaia, beating with the cosmic father, beating with source consciousness, that's when you are connected and able to flow with divine.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And I feel like that's why the most important thing is to start building your relationship with meditation, with some sort of body movement. Start, what's your food story, right? Lightening your frequency through food is enormous. I mean, that's first and foremost, right? Cleaning out the vehicle, right? That is containing our soul, right? This is how we treat that. So staying on that in a consistent fashion will get you there. But it's that mindset that I want it now. The swipe 15 second, like I want everything
instant
now.
gratification. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Satisfying the desire.
Yeah,
We are not a big pill mentality here on my show. Anything that I do, that's not what it's all about. It's just, it's not fast food. It's not the big pill mentality. It's just
right.
You and like you said, going back, and let me back up because I hear it from the audience and some newbies. Let's talk about what it means to be aligned. Let's talk about that definition and what frequency, what that means in 3D, so people understand, well, I think I'm aligned. Or, what I would, and where I'm going with this, you two, right, is the discernment. Well, I think I'm aligned, or I think I'm juiced up on coffee. I don't know, because their stimulants in life.
That's a big one. Like, how do I even know?
Right. Can we please have that conversation for everybody?
Take it away, Biji.
Thank you, Mikko. This one. I'll take this one. For me, you know by your fruits, you know by the results. If you are feeling good, if your relationships are healthy, if you set healthy boundaries, if you're speaking your truth, if you're living in integrity, if you're living in transparency, if you're taking care of you in every single way, then your outer reflections will begin to show itself. And when it does, and those reflections feel good, and they're representative of what you consciously created, then you know this is in alignment. That's how the mind can't trick that part, because the mind can create all kinds of holograms and illusions and projections, and it does. It's very busy doing that all the time. But can it create physical reality? Can it create something tangible that you're fantasizing about? Absolutely not. The energy has to be there. So that's where I go to the frequency question. How do we know? Because if you're not creating with your conscious frequency, then you are fantasizing. It is wishful thinking. You are little kid just going, hoping. Well, you're just going to be hoping for the rest of your existence, because the actual creator takes the initiative and does the most difficult thing in every moment. And the results of that shows itself in your physical reality. So how do I know this as an example, as an anecdote that I could share? This is how I aligned to Mikko. I was a single mom. I left everything. My marriage came undone in less than 2 weeks. I had an oracle. My source sent me an oracle. And at that time I was still in that religious dogma, and I wasn't open to oracles, even though now it's all the same. They have oracles. Oracles are in religions. Shamans are in religion. Shamans are in the ancient scriptures that I studied. And so it's all the same. So I'm not even going to go there. I'm just going to share about that frequency alignment, because that's what resides and resonates through time and space. It's the frequency that continues to create. And so, I was in that space where I had all this, but my oracle came in through my sister and my mother. And he said that I was going to be leaving everything behind in San Francisco. And in 2 weeks, I'm going to be with my 2 kids, and I'm going to be on my soul path. I didn't receive that information until I was already in Laguna Beach with my sister and my mother, with my 2 kids going. And she's like, well, so we got this reading and this is, do you want to hear it now? And I'm like, I want to hear it now. And
My life is falling apart.
Right. Right.
I received a reading for 10 years in the most specific way. And even now, I have the recording. Even now, it all applies. So our souls don't leave us in situations to fend for ourselves. It just requires that doing that most difficult thing in each and every moment to confront that ego part of you until there's nothing. And I was wondering, can you get to that place of no ego attachment? And it turns out that in my alignment and in the almost a decade that I worked on my own in celibacy, working on my own energy, working on my training, working with gurus, working in every single way I possibly could. And finally I aligned in. It took that long. And when I remember one of the first conversations I had with Mikko, I said, hey, so, I wanted to punch you the first time I met you. And he goes, and Mikko goes, yeah, he goes, I could see that. And I go, you're not going to ask me why? And he goes, it's because I took so long. I'm like, that's right. But it turns out I was the one that took so long. It just took me a long time
It was perfect and divine and all that it was. With that,
can I tell you, Sue? Can I tell
hang
you?
on, let's tease the audience. Hang on, let's tease the audience. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to keep continuing this conversation of love and connection and frequency. And what does this all mean to you, and how can you apply it to your real life, real time now, and get yourself aligned, get yourself juicy and full of some love. We'll be right back on Radio World. For those on YouTube, we're going to keep having a conversation. So join us over there if you can.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah. Can I share this story for your YouTube audience?
Yes.
Okay, because I just wanted to finish it. Finish the story is the way that I knew that and there were so many, when your heart aligned and you're creating from your heart frequency, there are so many divine signs, and we had so many just in the first little bit that we met. But through the almost decade that I was alone, every healer, oracle, guru I went to told me that I needed to date online. And I had so much resistance because I'm old. And I come from that place where you don't date online unless you're like, and I don't come from that young place where you only date online. And so I was like, I'm going to meet him at a library or at a farmer's market. And they're like, yeah. And I couldn't do the most difficult thing, which was swallow whatever idea my mind was attached to, my new love story and all that BS. Finally get to the place where I don't even need a love story. I'm so happy on my own. And then all of a sudden, I don't have resistance to Tinder. So that's how we met. And it only took the third message.
What?
Yeah,
that gives me hope.
And the message that I received, oh, I have so much hope for you. And so the message that I received was I was going to be on it for 2 weeks. And 2 weeks to the day, I got woken up during my creator's hours, which I call sadhana hours, which is my practice. I wake up at 156 minutes before sunrise. And I got up, it woke me up and said, delete Tinder. And I go, well, I guess I'm done. And I was 2 weeks. And it took only 7 years to get there.
Only, but that's just 3D stuff. Come on. Right?
Right.
I am so with you. And look at that juiciness. I love it. Keep shining. Yep. We're going back to Radio World, you loves. All right. I can't hear anything. you, Benny. Are you feeling this love? Oh, is
No,
this
I
so? Oh, it's so good. I literally now I just took my feet off the ground. I should put them back down there right now. 'Cause I'm like,
All right, let's ground it, Sue. Let's ground
oh, I know. Get back to grounded. Grounded. All right, welcome back, you guys. Sue Lundquist here with the Gratitude Cafe. Hello to all the radio world, and that is to the Pacific Northwest and internationally, of course, the UK, Belgium, Mexico. I love you guys. Costa Rica. Hello, welcome.
Davida.
And for all of you that's joining us in the podcast world, please give us a 5-star, 6-star, 8-star, 10-star review because we deserve that in 3D. Above and beyond. Right? Above and beyond all that. Welcome back to the both of you. We are having a conversation about frequency. We're having a conversation about our own internal and external journey and what that has looked like in our lives. And I've got Mikko and Biji with us, and we are unlike any of you. And I say that with all of my heart because I know for myself and learning from you guys as well, we walk the talk. We have been there in our 3D. We have experienced, explored, dived in, dove out, swam up, swam down, whatever it is to get where we divinely choose to be. And I use my words specifically because you have a choice, audience. You know that. I've spoken to that for years. You have a choice. And these beautiful guests that I bring on are helping you to create that pathway, to foster that new mindset, to foster that new frequency, and the frequency of heart, the frequency of love, and realigning and retrusting, because it is all inside of you. We just kind of, we went a little left or a little right, and we're just coming back in, right? Welcome back, you guys.
Thank you.
Yes.
No matter where you veer off, you're still on path. That's the whole point, is to be authentically where you're at.
Such a beautiful message. Did you guys hear that? And my audience knows this. I love acronyms, and I love little tips and tools to get you back into realignment in 3D. I mean, my specialty is I bridge 3D and 5D because I live in 5D, intuitive, psychic, all, that world. But I'm also deep-seated in practicality. I mean, raising 3 daughters and bills and stuff and stuff. And finding, with a big capital STUFF. But finding real life practical tools, where I was going with this. So when I come up against things like this, and yes, anything and everything that you are going through, it starts with awareness. And also, regardless of left or right, straight, you are on the right path, and it's all a lesson learned or earned. And the audience, they've heard me say this before, and it's compassionate curiosity. It's the CCs in life. Have that compassion and get curious with yourself, because it gets the ego ain't going to get curious. I'll tell you that right now. Right?
Yeah, that's what I always express when I'm working with people through their food story, or addiction and food story, is you have to look at yourself as your own science experiment, right? Nobody has the one, way for each individual. So, building that relationship of, looking at it as, well, let me just try this to see if this is, and I can go this way and start to, find out your own recipe that works for you.
Well, you healed your own need. Yeah.
I mean, I've used breath work and fasting to heal any ailment that I've had. I had a meniscus, and I just fasted for a long time, did breath work and, intention meditation and, kind of my own, Reiki on myself. And it is 100% now. And I can, and so.
And they say that you can't right? There's no
Well,
way to.
yeah, I mean, I've just built the muscle up around it. I did the 3D work as well,
Yeah.
you know,
every
along with the
single
Reiki.
day. Yeah, every
I did the
single day.
3D work, the exercises to build up the muscle around the meniscus, and, you know, the breath work that helped me drop smoking cigarettes, and addiction to, you know, human stories and emotions and ways of reacting in life when, you know, like you said, I'll bring it back to frequency. You know, everything is frequency. So checking into how your frequency is with food, your frequency is with what you're taking in digitally, your frequency with the people that you allow in your auric field, you know. And so when you start to really pay attention to what frequency or energy is, it is, you know, it's a big control technique from the 3D music, as well as can be a huge uplifting, heart expansive technique that we use it with. So it is powerful. Music is powerful, and healthy food is the first medicine, as they say. So lightening your frequency all around, in my opinion, is the work. So we can feel, you know, that divine experience and that connection to source a lot easier. And you know, it's like I always say, it's turning on your spiritual Wi-Fi. Your connection gets better.
Yeah. Zing, 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 zing. Yeah. Yeah. Totally. There was something that, oh, go ahead, love. What was that?
No, I said, I know, you know, I can feel you turned on by the universe, you know?
Oh, totally. Yeah. This is my sweet spot. Yeah. And literally intuit and psychic. I, like you said at the top of the hour, I can see the world map, and, you know, those little gold little, you know, lights and lines that keep going. There was a question or a comment I wanted to ask, and it eluded me for a moment. It will come back. Energy alchemists, sacred union partners, founders of LoveAll 5D, Avala. Did I pronounce it Avala? Oh, I'm like, why does Dahlia, the last before, because I was tapping into our energies, and the last 24 hours, because I was reading about, I read the word Avala, and then dahlias keep coming up in my heart, in my mind. I had to go look up the meaning. I'm like, interesting, but we'll have that whole conversation later, because apparently there's.
I'm interested.
I know the meaning of the dahlia and the purity of all of that. It's beautiful. To elevate. Okay, so we were talking, and we can keep talking for hours and hours, and I'm trying to get us back in and focused. Let's talk to the audience about how the both of you are making change in the world. You are now in Costa Rica. What is it? How can people learn and teach and be with you and understand what alchemy is, what love is, how can I love on myself through what you guys are teaching?
So Sue, for me, mine is just a really a simple invitation. I don't, you know, I believe I was 14 or 15 when I first learned about enlightenment, the possibility that you don't have to suffer in this lifetime, the possibility of getting to a place where you don't want anything, you don't need anything, simply being here, present is the gift. I wanted that frequency. I knew that frequency was there for me. And if I came back to this lifetime, that's the frequency I came back here for. I wanted that experience. And I believe at that point, and of course, you know, my lineage speaks to my path. It's been a relentless pursuit for me to get to that sacred space of neutrality, that non-attachment, Buddhist sense. And so I did. And then that aligned me to Mikko. And then we did the path together with our 2 kids and our 2 cats. And we went into that 3D nothing, where we put everything on the line and we left it all to source. We found ourselves in a tiny little town Nobody knew us. We didn't know anybody. We had already detached from all our families. We were going into our first winter ever. We decided we're not going to be healers. We did not come to this town, start on this path to be healers in this town. We wanted to live our soul path, our ultimate, place. Yeah. And so this one winter we decided that's it. Mikko and I, we took a drive and we said, we don't want to be sick, in our 80s, 60s going like, we really should have done that one thing, trying to kill ourselves in the family and become a news story.
No shoulda, coulda, woulda.
God is real.
Yeah.
But we did it. We were crazy and we decided we're gonna go for it. So we cut off every funds, every possible way for financial stream to come in. We gave up every support, everything, and we just decided to wait. We waited it out.
Sounds smart.
I know, it was totally nuts. It was nuts.
I'm loving it.
Ultimately for me, that's what the journey has really given me, was the opportunity to constantly be in the unknown and constantly, kind of dip down to those mental fears of what it
coming up
be,
against
what
yourself
this means, or my ego, like who am I when it's this unknown and we have nothing, and then to manifest everything from there and then go back down. It's just you learn how to stay at the same frequency no matter what's happening around you, because if you dip down into that the matrix of the mind of, oh my gosh, it's going bad, I'm out of flow, I'm not flowing, literally,
I'm gonna kill my whole family.
I'm so sensitive, I'm gonna lose it if somebody says one thing that's divisive, right? Because there's enough of that going on right now. So it's been that maintenance. It's been that maintenance.
We compelled ourselves before the pandemic could compel us. We
did
this journey for years to continuously put ourselves at the edge of nothing.
We were actually told to get ready for this time.
2020.
So we could hold space. Yeah.
So we've been, okay. So we've been getting, all of us have been getting ready. And so now we understand what we've been getting ready for.
Oh, I know.
At the time, we're just like, really? That first time that most people would probably write a book, have a movie made, that was just our first boot camp. When you say alchemize energy alchemist, that's not just a fancy title. We really figured out by going into nothing and then creating mass abundance, physical abundance, and then doing whatever our hearts told us without hanging on or saving or planning, just whatever our souls told us to do, get to that nothing, create absolute abundance again. This was a muscle. This was a reaction.
Well, it's tricky because the mind wants to fix things, right?
Yes,
the mind wants to fix things so we stay comfortable.
Right. Let me, that's super important. There was lots of pearls in everything you guys were saying in that. So I want the audience to really noodle on this, because there's a lot of unknown right now. There is a lot of unknown. So I want to speak to that fear and speak to that ego and say, hey guys, it's okay. And I know what it was. There was what I remembered. And I have this agreement with, I call it Gus, God, Universe, Spirit, Source. It could be purple chopsticks if that's what you want it to be. Go for it.
Nice.
I say, all right, I have an agreement with Gus. And if there are messages, how about you give them to me in butterflies? No more grizzly bears. And with that, I promise you, I will stay in awareness and alignment with my heart open so I can hear the messages, right? Girl doesn't want no more grizzly bears. Right.
Nice.
No more. Thank you very much. Oh, we're gonna have so much fun. I love this. This is so good. So with that, I love it. I know it's like little Tinkerbells going. I know. Anyways, with that, Costa Rica. Okay, I'm also doing my 3D time check because Benny's going to keep me in line with our time. We've got about 10 more minutes. So 10 more minutes. So I want to bring all of this back to the intention, where you guys are, where you are at, and bringing people to you energetically, physically, what that looks like. And again, audience, we have spoke to the unknown, and there's a lot of fear. That's also your ego saying, no, 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 no. And there's a lot of doubt. I can hear the audience going, yeah, but that's them. Or, yeah, but I've got blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you know what? That's an excuse. We're going to love you through it. And that's okay. And that's fear, because it's the unknown. We can help you to cross that bridge of the unknown. So who would like to take it?
Well, I mean, I feel, the mind creates stories, right? That we do know. So we've been in the unknown for as long as we've known.
Right.
So it's just, the ability to receive tools and wisdom from people that have gone through this treacherous. I mean, it's difficult to create a 3D business, right? But to do this 3D business in a 5D way, in a 3D world, yet manifesting in a 5D way, it gets interesting,
Yes, it does.
But at the end of the day, that's why I say it's down to the basics. When you can manifest even coming to a session with us, you've already won. Your system already knows it's going to be okay. We design it in the sense where, your human story is here to be expressed in a transparent way, because it doesn't have this opportunity in life. We're so used to hiding and putting on masks, so we don't let people around us. And sometimes, a lot of times, even ourselves know what is really going on. So how can we have discernment when we're suppressing? How can we have discernment and how can we have vision of where we want to be if we're too busy plugging up all the holes on the ship? Getting to a session, or especially my favorite, an in-person retreat, and being around, right? And being not only in this, not only in this amazing location, but around beings that align to the same time and space and work that you have, creates a bond for lifetimes. And so what we provide in that 0 point field, the field of groundedness, yet connected to the ether and the cosmos, and seeing all the energies around a being that is, just in that story, right? And showing them where the light is and how to get there, and watching them turn on, and consistently, right? Because we're not in the business of one-offs. We're not in the business of, we want people to align to us that are ready to roll up their sleeves and do the 3D, 5D work that they have to do to feel good in this lifetime, to create this as your heaven on earth time, not wait for any particular time anymore. That wait is no longer. Stuff is going to come up and out anyway, so you might as well drop into this practice and this work with all of the sessions, the retreats, and we have other offerings that are on Sam's cart. We're going to drop the link to at the end. We can give that to you, but I feel, for me, it's heeding the call, the directive from Gus, right? Like listening to Gus when he says it's time, and these are the people, or this is the energy that you should be in to figure out the next layer of your healing until maybe the next shaman or the next thing. Then you have to heed that call. You have to take that directive. If you don't, you're going to stay stuck where you are in that dream state, wanting to attain something outside of yourself that you can't, because you don't have it internally.
Yeah, we have. Mikko, thank you.
Thank you. I want to ask the question. That's beautiful. Hang on 2 seconds, Biji. Audience, did you hear what was just said there? And ask yourself, and I talk to the audience, and even myself, when somebody says something like that, do you want to stay in fear? Do you want to stay stuck? Ask yourself, go in and literally ask yourself, Do you want that for your life? Because literally you are here right now listening to the message right here, right now for some reason. And it's going to be a squeaky wheel. It could be a little thorn in your tush. Who knows? We're going to love you through it anyways, right? Yes. So pay attention. And if there's something going on, oh yeah, it's because there's a message. There is a learning here. So step forward, cross that bridge, and that bridge of initiation, there's always going to be an iteration, we're going to learn and then we're going to expand. It's not bigger, better, greater. It's just an expansion, right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Because if it was bigger, better, greater, then we'd be pulling the mind and ego right back into all that. And that's 3D, right. And we don't want to
better, greater.
Swipe.
The only earth
that way. Yeah.
Swipe.
Is it swipe? Is it swipe left? Yeah. Yeah. Or
swipe left.
Swipe left. We don't want that one.
Left is wrong, right is right.
What was that, Benny?
Left is wrong, right is right. That's how you swipe.
Oh, okay.
Simple thing to remember. I don't need it anymore, so I'm just saying.
I'm so happy for you. I am totally happy for you, love. I really am. Mine's coming. Well, I've released. I'm so good with me. I'm so good. Yeah. Okay. Please continue. I just wanted to bring the audience. We've got.
Thank you, Sue. That's absolutely. And along those lines, Sue, I want to share that we have a free Telegram community from pure hearts from all over the world. And they get a personal message from me at 3:30 in the morning. And today's message was, you cannot fail at this. And that's exactly what I am hearing from you. You cannot fail at this as long as you're in your heart. You cannot fail. And that's ultimately, I guess, we're not sharing mind energy here. I'm not smart. I'm not that intelligent. All I can share with you is my embodied conscious energy and the frequency that Mikko and I hold to maintain that 0-point field, which is the exquisite harmonization of our internal masculine and feminine energies. He has his harmonization. I have mine. And together we're able to create this 0-point frequency. This is a real thing. It's not. This frequency is real, and it absolutely brings anybody who comes into this frequency the opportunity for them to flush everything out, get to the space of neutrality so they can consciously see all possibilities. It is not a mind experience. It is a full frequency transformation. And when we share this energy with the planet, we hope and trust and hold the intention that there's no frills. We're not writing things or creating products to pump up our own image or whatever. This is the essential information, the hacks that we had to figure out through blood, sweat, and tears. That we're just put it down in a line. It doesn't have to sound pretty. It doesn't have to look good. But man, if you read it, you will be activated. It will shift you. And so we have this.
Yeah, well, I was going to say that's how sensitive this energy is. If you believe in the work, it will absolutely work for you.
Yeah.
And, you have to be ready to put in. It's not easy to look at those parts that we try to hide from even ourselves, but man, is it worth it once you release that past shackles of the past and you release anything that you had tugging on you of regret or anxiety of the future, and you just, for even a split second, no matter in how dark you feel or what your path has been or who you think you were or are, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
They're just
stories.
Matter. They're just narratives.
Yeah.
They're just
that you
narratives.
collected through all the lifetime and multidimensional expressions. You're going to entertain one more, or you're just going to figure out how to do it. So we have this we made a fun series of how to do things like a guru. The first one that we're releasing right now, and this is exciting because your audience are the first ones we're presenting this to.
Okay. Oh my God, Ben, we've got like less than 3 seconds. You got to jump, girl.
Okay. It's called how to communicate like a guru.
5-step guide to elevate any interaction, right? How to show up better in any interaction and communicate from your heart.
Right before
and
your first
set your
date.
Boundaries.
Right before a conversation with in-laws.
LoveAll5D.com/gratitude.
Oh, I love you guys. All right, I will follow up and get all this information for you. I promise, audience.
Thank
Make sure
you,
you get the
Sarah.
newsletter. Go to SueLundquist.com/newsletter. Go to SueLundquist.com. You'll get all the information there. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, you guys, until next time, each of you are